you've got your historical data, you can go back and say, what was our MER historically? Like, what is a good marketing efficiency ratio? We knew we were profitable then, before the iOS update. Maybe we go based on that, if that's a number we want to shoot for.
Absolutely.
Shane, I like to have people come on and show something that they've seen working. Is there an account you can pull up and talk us through how you're managing it right now?
Well, Egan, let's talk about this. I have got a fantastic account that we can share. I don't want to over talk it up, but yes, there are a couple of things that we are seeing that are working really well with this account. Yeah, so this is a client account that we have. I am going to preface this. Yes, this does show, I know I'm talking about all these low ROAS numbers and these metric numbers, and then I go and show you an account that is, showing a 5x ROAS. I want to be clear that this is an account that did just wrap up a sale and does have some wholesale activity that does sort of happen on here. So just prefacing this, that I don't want to sound like, oh, why are you talking about everybody has low numbers and then this is a little bit higher. But what I do want to go over and kind of talk through are what we are seeing working, and primarily that being higher percent lookalikes of audiences. So as you can see here, in this, we launched, this brand has a brand new creamy treat for dogs. And well, I shouldn't say it's brand new. They actually relaunched it. They actually sold out of it when they first launched it, was well received. And so after, I think it's probably been about 8 months, they finally got it back in stock. And so we've relaunched it. I think there's some genuine interest in that's helping drive this as well. But as you can see, in launching this, we decided to take all of our, so what we're using here is custom audiences that we've downloaded specifically, or I should say static audiences from their Shopify site, and looking at their treat purchasers and their treat toy purchasers. So the toys, people who've bought the toys that the treats are actually designed to go into. And I'd probably even lean that. I always downplay this account because, it deals with dogs, and, we know dogs run the internet, and maybe cats too, if you're a cat lover, sorry. But, so I kind of preface that, that's probably why we see a little increase there too. But overall, in accounts that we've been testing this with, larger percent lookalikes have been working really well. The creative on this is pretty basic. It's just sort of, they've got some stock photography that they did really quick, but it does show, the product up close. And this is actually just a little GIF that we've kind of, done. It just sort of pop. It's just enough pop of color that it sort of makes it stand out in the news feed a little bit more. And then, kind of talks through the value props of the treat.
I love that little animation with color. That's a great touch.
Yeah, it's one of those things that really works out really nice. Another thing that I would say is if you are not stalking, or I shouldn't say stalking, but if you're not creeping on TikTok to look at content, like, I absolutely will tell you, you need to download the TikTok app. And I don't care if you don't post TikTok content, but start sort of searching and liking things that relate to or relevant to your clients. And then I guarantee their algorithm is so fantastic in serving you more of the content you engage with. And you will just start getting creative ideas for your content and your ads and your creative. And one thing that I would highly recommend, so the next process to this, right, that we're actually going to do, our next iteration on this, is to take this very, very video, and then TikTok has a really cool text-to-speech feature. Sounds kind of like Siri, but I don't know, if I had to judge, she sounds a little bit younger. But the audio, right, so you type in the text and then it'll read read the text for you, and then the text stays on the screen, and then this voice automatically reads it, and it's just got a viral kind of sound to it. And so we've actually been testing that, layering that text and speech over assets we already have. I haven't rolled it out in this account yet, but that's sort of the next iteration that we'll see. And we're kind of anticipating that that'll kind of continue to deliver, just because it has another engaging level to it. The moving text, because the text highlights as as she's saying the words as well. So
that's great. I love the TikTok tip. We got to use that artificial intelligence from China to generate some creative ideas. It's pretty good.
I mean, if you can have, if you have somebody in-house that can, say, I was scrolling through TikTok and saw this brand new dog treat, whatever, however they say it, robot sound. So, if you got somebody in-house that can do it, do it. Otherwise, fun little tip on how to, manipulate the apps out there to improve your content. Another thing that I guess, just since we're show and telling here, which I feel great about, by the way, I haven't done show and tell in forever. I think I was in first grade last time I did show and tell, to be honest with you. So this is fantastic that I'm actually getting to do this with you. But I do want to also sort of talk about the mid funnel. A lot of what we're doing, is ABO, or ad set budget optimization. And we're doing a lot of consolidation here, right? So it's expanding these audiences to right where we might normally have only done a 30-day add to cart. We're doing 180 days. We're combining email subscribers with website visitors over the last 180 days. Obviously, you'll see this one's a little bit more powerful. I'm sure there's some multi-touch going here, right? They were either just on the website, they just got an email, so we can play the game of, which one really did it. Was it the email that converted? Was it them already being on the site? But this audience is one that, obviously works as a really good one just to stay right in front of people, especially over the last 180 days. And then even consolidating those engagers, video views, saved posts. And on this one, is doing okay, especially for add to carts, right? I mean, what we're kind of looking for in this too is, what is the ratio of add to carts? Are we still getting people adding product so that we know that we likely have a chance here with our add to cart again? And this messaging is a little different between these ad sets as well. But then we also have, dynamic product ads that do retarget people in a little bit closer window, calling out, hey, left this in your cart. Still sort of doing those, last chance to buy. These guys actually, because they're pets, focus on pets, we actually have some messaging like, hey, we know you left this behind in your cart, but don't worry. We'll just, you can always blame it on the mailman kind of messaging, which has actually seemed to do really well because it's a little snarky, but also getting back in front of people to like, hey, you left this behind, come back and get it.
That's awesome. Can I ask about 180 purchase minus 60? Describe that one to us and why you use that audience.
Yeah, so this is actually a really cool audience, right? So especially in, as we're related to dog toys here, and pet products, right? I mean, a lot of these are chew toys. And so if you have a heavy chewer dog, very well, within 60 days, that toy is probably gone and annihilated. So what we're doing here is, right, taking people over the last 6 months and, excluding the last 2 months, from when somebody purchased. So if somebody purchased today, over the next 2 months, they will not see the ads that are in this campaign. Now, granted, we could kind of, maybe that's, with people opting out, maybe there are a few people that will be getting served this, but ideally, people over the next 60 days after making a purchase will not see the ads that are in this campaign. But then on day 61, over the next, several months, those are the people that we're trying to reach. So people that haven't actually made that purchase in the last 60 days, but have made a purchase with us to get them to come back and kind of re-up, renew, or specifically with this one, we're actually running a brand new product that they've released. So it's kind of like, hey, you know what? Here's a chance to, refresh your toys and try out this brand new eco-friendly product that we have. So that's sort of how we're using that. And I think that's a really, a lot of these are audiences that, worked in varying degrees pre iOS 14. But, in these wider ranges, we're actually kind of seeing, work pretty well. We used to segment these a lot more, right? We probably would have, in a pre iOS 14, we likely would have broken these down into 90-day, 60-day, and even 30-day, and been specifically serving content to each of those windows of time as well.
This is pretty interesting on the kind of where you see the targeting going. That saved post one is interesting to me as well. I don't know if I've seen that recently. I like that.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, right? Because if you think about, especially if you're scrolling on Instagram, right? How often, and maybe you don't do this, but how often do you see a piece of content, but you're like, I've got 5 minutes before my next meeting, and I was just kind of scrolling to scroll, and so you hit the saved post, and then you can kind of go check it later, and it's a little bit of a higher intent kind of action over somebody that maybe just watched a few seconds of your video, or clicked the like button on a post because they liked the cute puppy on it or something like that.
Yeah, that's a great one. Anything else in this account you think we should see and people should give a shot?
That's a wonderful question. I think overall, I think these are the big pieces. I think the things that you could be continuing to try here. We actually just rolled out a carousel here, and we're trying to what we're trying to do is kind of drive and include we just launched this, so but getting we're looking for continuing these higher click-through rates, getting people to the site, so then that way we know hopefully over time that we can continue to, help convert them in this mid-funnel, and so, but this one, I would say, I think if we looked at the creative, this is kind of a fun carousel that, so these are their top products, or top, treat toys. And so, we just have some pretty okay images, but I like doing a little bit more video, but obviously everybody loves dogs and puppies and stuff, and so we got some of those close-up shots of the product with dogs that they've taken, and then kind of using on the top funnel, we tend to use a little bit more of that learn more call to action, and this is actually a test on a little bit more long form copy as well, so trying to get them, obviously, reading through this, and then getting them to click through to learn more about the specific product or toy, and then either getting them to convert there on the landing page through additional information on the product description page, or hopefully being able to reserve them, intensifying content in the mid funnel or bottom funnel there.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing this, Shane. It's great to see it from an expert practitioner. What does this account look like? How are you breaking it down? And just some phenomenal tips in there. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things that I think it's really valuable to show we're all sort of in this together at this point in time, and so if there's any sort of little things that you can take from this to go and test and try in your account, absolutely. I hope they're absolutely helpful. I would hope you message me and let me know if they worked, or for all that, the sky is falling right now in Facebook land. So it's a roller coaster ride. So maybe you're on a death loop and, it's not working. And so I'd love to hear that as well. Maybe just be like, Shane, that didn't work for me at all.
Right on. Well, speaking of that, Shane, what's a good way for people to reach you or follow you? And is there anything you want them to check out?
Yeah, I think, so first and foremost, easiest way to connect with me, just follow me on Twitter at Shane Cicero, easiest way to there. And then I think biggest thing, if you are looking to kind of stay ahead of the curve or just stay up to date on all of these changes when it comes to ad buying on Facebook, Instagram, and just digital advertising in general. I know we talk heavily about Facebook and Instagram just because it is the largest space to advertise on, but these changes and things are affecting every other social digital advertising platform. And, and I realize that those platforms are not as outspoken. I feel like they're really just sort of sitting back and like, well, we're just going to let Facebook take this one, and whatever they do, we'll follow up with. But so if you are looking to continue to kind of grow and you want a community where you can continue to be at the forefront of information, what's going on, I'd highly recommend heading over to foxwelldigital.com and signing up for the Founders Membership, which is a perfect place for agency owners, brand ad buyers, and little boutiques, or if you're just looking to kind of want to learn more about Facebook and Instagram advertising. It's a great community. We have a dedicated Slack channel along with a wiki. We also send out a weekly update that just outlines the best content from the week, or the most important things that we feel like you need to know and be up to date on. So even if you can't engage in the Slack channels, you can absolutely stay up to date with our quick weekly end of the week recap as well.
Yeah, we are members of that. It's been great, and we recommend all things Foxwell Digital. So thank you for coming on, Shane. It's great to have you, and thank you for sharing what's working in e-commerce.
Perfect. Greatly appreciate your time today, Egan.